Hi everybody and welcome back to Hex Token channel. Now in this video we're going to look at Optimism and how this EVM layer 2 chain is performing. We're also going to give an insight of how this may impact, of course, Pulse chain, which is coming up, being founded by Richard Hart, the first full system state copy of Ethereum. So if you're in Optimism, check this out, and of course check out how Pulse chain is really going to supercharge. If Optimism's doing this well, imagine how amazing Pulse chain will be. It's going to be incredible. Let's check it out. Let's get into it. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share if you want more content, and I'll see you in the chat there. Woohoo! Let's get it. And of course, we've got here on the optimism.io website here, Ethereum scaled, Optimism low cost and lightning fast Ethereum layer 2 blockchain, of course, EVM. So very, very cool. Open source, secure, and permissionless and decentralized. And of course, it has a whole ecosystem. We're going to explore that soon. And of course, massive savings on gas fees, over 800 million on chain, and of course, 1 million donated to public goods. We always like that on this channel. Very, very cool. Of course, Richard Hart has donated via the Pulse Chain Sacrifice $27 million to the SENS Foundations for long life research. So these are got some nice little public giving out there. The L2 with the best UX and DevX hands down. And of course, some interesting stuff. Simple and elegant, click and deploy is pretty much how it goes on this one in a community of builders. So very, very cool. We're going to check into a lot of the details. You can see all the extra information down the bottom here if you want to look in a bit deeper. But we're going to dive in, of course, to the ecosystem later on. And of course, there's multiple bridges. We're going to check that out. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be really, really neat. There's a block explorer and status as well. And really cool. And of course, Twitter. We're going to check it all out. Let's get into it on the next one. So we're going to jump over to Twitter. We can see here back on the 1st of June, they had a launch, of course, a friendly reminder that you are eligible for the airdrop as well. Now, they're doing it interesting. Rather than just dropping all the airdrop at once, they, like Uni, for example, Uniswap, they are going to be giving it out over a period of time. We're going to check that out as well. So pretty exciting there for the 1st of June. And, of course, they airdropped everybody there on Twitter. So pretty amazing there. And, of course, very exciting for them. Just a sleuth, as you might have guessed, OP drop number 1 launches today on the 1st of June. We have not officially announced yet, but we're already expecting at all-time high demand. So that was pretty cool. So I actually think that's a better approach in terms of airdropping the OP there to people, and I think that's pretty awesome. Let's get into some of the more quicker details there. The other thing I was going to say about the Twitter is that they have a pretty good following. So on the official Twitter there, that's Optimism FND. They have 243,200 followers, so it's pretty cool. And of course, you can claim the airdrop there as well. So check that out. Now, of course, Optimism launches OP token with airdrop for early users. This is based on the prior to the airdrop there on the 26th. And of course, a layer 2 season is upon us. Optimism, a layer 2, a network designed to scale Ethereum by executing transactions off the main chain. It's launching the Optimism Collective, a bicameral government system, which will be tasked with increasing demand for the network. And you can see the breakdown here. They got the token house and the citizens house there. And of course, they got project initiatives and incentives inside the token house, protocol upgrades, treasury funds, and OP is transferable. In the citizen house, they have retroactive public goods funding, and citizenship is non-transferable. In the middle, they have network parameters and granting citizenship. So that's a bit of an overview of the two houses. One of the two houses of the collective will be governed by Optimism's new OP token, which is on the market. We're going to check that out for a price prediction. And of course, stay tuned for that later on, which will be airdropped to early users. Qualifying activities include making transactions early or often on Optimism, and also actions unrelated to the layer 2, like Gitcoin donations, which facilitate public goods funding. The token house is the token governed branch of the governance is called, will be able to vote on protocol upgrades and project incentives as part of the governance fund, said Optimism's post outlining the new governance system. Now you can see the breakdown here of the eligible addresses for the airdrop. So the OP airdrop eligibility, this was the number 1, of course, on the 1st of June. And of course, you can see Optimism users there, repeat OP users, DAO voters, multi-sig signers, Gitcoin donors, and priced out ETH. And of course, you can see the eligible addresses there, 85,000, 1,900, 82,000, 19,000, 20,000, and 74,000 there. And of course, the OP per address there, 1811, 1754, 423, 1137, 936, and 234 per address. So that's pretty much the original breakdown from the first airdrop. But as I say, they're going to be staging those out over time as people use the chain, no doubt. So it's pretty cool. The Citizen House, which is the second part, called the Citizen's House, will be governed by the Optimism, what Optimism is calling soul-bound NFTs, non-fungible tokens. This means that non-fungible, non-transferable NFTs, meaning the token would act somewhat like a decentralized identity in the context of Optimism governance. The Citizens House will be tasked with distributing retroactive public goods, and of course, something Optimism has been working on for a while. This branch of governance will go live later in 2022. Possibly the biggest attempt at a non-token holder-centric DAO governance so far. Exciting to see where this goes, says Vitalik Bulldoring. To guide this process, Optimism is launching the Optimism Foundation, which will serve as a steward of the collective. According to the launch post, the Optimism Foundation will progressively dissolve and pass its governance functions to the collective. This method of gradual decentralization has been championed by projects like MakerDAO, whose foundation dissolved last July. Total value locked, or TVL, at all-time highs at 226,000 ETH. The amount of ETH moved into Optimism is at all-time high on the April 26th, so you can imagine ramping up since then. Optimism outlined that there will be an entire season of airdrops rather than just one, and I think that's a pretty cool feature of this. In light of this, it's likely that the amount of ETH unlocked in the layer 2 will grow as users interact with the protocols built on the network in hopes of receiving subsequent OP airdrops. Indeed, while 5% of the total OP has been allocated as part of the first airdrop, a further 14% of the OP supply will be given out in the future according to the chart of allocation. So you can see the breakdown here, the airdrops. 5% is that first one, on 1st of June, and of course is open for claiming, and of course 14% for future airdrops, which I think is a pretty smart idea. The ecosystem funding, governance fund, partner fund, seed fund, and allocation, that is getting 25%, and of course retroactive public goods, 20%, sugar at exaddies, investors, 17%, and the core contributors, 19% there. That is the OP token allocation. If successful in driving more users to its network, Optimism token launch could likely put pressure on other L2s like Arbitrum to follow suit. So interesting move there. So let's jump into the airdrop. Of course, on the website app.optimism.io/airdrop/check, you can actually connect your wallet and have a check of that. Of course, to do that, you can go to the block explorer, which I've got here. This is optimism.etherscan.io. And of course, you can add the OP to your address. So I'm going to do that now live. And of course, add the network. It's going to be Optimism Ethereum. Of course, the URL is going to be mainnet.optimism.io. And of course, the chain ID is number 10. So that's very important. Currency ETH, of course. And it's got the block explorer in there as well, optimism.etherscan.io. So that's great. We're going to accept that and approve. And of course, then we're going to have to switch from the Ethereum network to the Optimism one. And so that means that we've added that in. And that looks pretty good. Just checking the MetaMask wallet there. And we've now got that wallet in place. So that's very exciting. I'm going to show you that wallet as well. Let's expand. And so you can see that now it is on Optimism. And there's no balance in there at all at the moment. So that's pretty cool. Now we could go back to the airdrop, of course, and connect our wallet. I'm going to use MetaMask. And of course, sorry, you're not eligible for this airdrop. Of course, you can check to see whether you are eligible. Don't worry, there will be plenty of opportunities to enter your OP in the future. Get started in the ecosystem today, which is pretty neat. So here's the eligibility criteria: Optimism user, and of course, used an OP bridge prior to June 23, 2021, or used Optimism projects more than once between June 23rd and March 25th, 2022. So that's you. Repeat Optimism user came back to use the apps on OP in 4 different weeks between 23rd of June and 2021 and the 25th of March 2022, a real one. The DAO voter, an active participant in governance on layer 1, a sign of participation and stewardship, thanks for being involved. A multi-sig signer, control over large pools of capital and key protocol functions. With great power comes great responsibility. Donated to the Gitcoin grants. On layer 1, of course, a true believer, you funded public goods on layer 1. Grants contributions are a good sign of positive thinking. And finally, priced out Ethereum, used bridges while being a regular active user on layer 1. And explorer's mindset with an interest in lower fees. So that's kind of how you got the details there. Obviously, you can bridge Ethereum over using the bridge, and we're going to talk more about that. So that's pretty much a wrap up there. And of course, the block explorer is pretty impressive. So you can obviously see everything with the blocks and transactions, etc., stuff like that. So very cool looking at the Optimism blockchain. So that is kind of the airdrops. Now, they did have a bit of an issue at the beginning. Optimism hacker returned 17 million tokens after airdrop blunder. 70 million tokens were returned. 1 million sent to Vitalik Buterin is being recovered. The rest, bounty for hacker, says Optimism Foundation, which is pretty interesting. The Optimism Airdrop has been a comedy of errors, but it has somewhat happy ending, so they're pretty lucky to get away with that. The hacker who stole 20 million Optimism tokens last week has returned 17 million. So this is dated the 11th of June, so 10 days after the launch, the claim phase started. The hacker who stole 20 million Optimism tokens last week has returned 17 million of them. The tokens were meant to be used for governance for the company's new DAO, the Optimism Collective DAO, a DAO or centralized autonomous organization granting voting privileges to people who hold its governance token. Ethgan's data shows the OP was sent back in 17 separate 1 million token transactions starting around 8 p.m. on Friday. The hacker exchanged 1 million OP for ETH, sent another 1 million to Ethereum. Co-founder Vitalik Buterin and still has 1 million OP in their wallet. In a Twitter thread, the Optimism Foundation called the 2 million OP that has been returned a bounty, that it was in the process of recovering the 1 million OP that had been sent to Buterin. So you can sort of see a bit of a breakdown there with the tweets. So anyway, a bit of saving grace if you ask me. But anyway, Optimism is what is known as the Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution. This means that its transactions bypass the often crowded Ethereum mainnet, but in order to work properly, the Layer 2 Optimism wallet addresses needed to be synced with Layer 1 Ethereum. After an announcement that it would be launching its native Optimism token on June the 1st, the company sent 20 million OP to the wrong blockchain address. The error resulted in 20 million OP being stolen. Optimism hired crypto market maker Wintermute to distribute the tokens in highly anticipated airdrop, but because Optimism sent them to Wintermute Layer 1 address, they had synced to Layer 2. They were all inaccessible. Pretty unfortunate there. So these things do happen in crypto, but of course, Optimism has managed to move forward. Of course, here is the Optimism ecosystem in a nutshell. So you can pause the video if you want to check this out. And of course, we got NFTs over here. Pretty awesome. And of course, OptiMarket as well, including OptiMarket and many others. Dope Wars here as well. Optimistic Apes. This is the NFT market in the Optimism ecosystem. We've got bridges, of course, very important. You've got to be able to transfer that crypto value from chain to chain. And of course, that's pretty important. We've got the Optimism bridge and Poly network there as well. O3 swap, of course, many will be familiar with C bridge and many more there. Also obviously on the DAO, we've got Boring DAO there, Olympus, Circus DAO as well. Underneath that, of course, we've got the wallets, obviously famous MetaMask, but there is also Trust Wallet in there as well, Coinbase, and many others. On-ramps, of course, very fundamental that you have on-ramps into the ecosystem. Hubi Global, Binance, and of course Qcoin, just to name a few. We've got portfolio trackers there, of course, Nansen, DBank, and many others there. And finally, DeFi, which is the main money-making engine, really. And of course, you've got a number of ones here: Curve, Tornado, Uniswap, of course, Aave, some of the real big ones in the space there. So really managed to get a lot onboarded. Can you imagine what Pulse Chain is going to be like when Pulse Chain launches as the first system state copy of Ethereum? It's going to be quite mind-boggling. Tool, of course, you've got Alchemy here as well, Gnosis, and many others. So definitely check it out. Infera there as well, I know, and Chainlink. So lots of tools supporting this ecosystem as well. So that's a nice little summary there. Once again, pause the video if you want to see that. You can also see on the website, you can see all the apps under optimism.io/apps. And of course, you'll be able to see all the ecosystem there under ecosystem. And of course, you can see many of the projects if you want to delve deeper into those as well that you've seen on the overview that I posted there. So that's pretty cool. Well, obviously, the network is operating pretty well at the moment. Mainnet is up, and of course, Gateway is up. Deposits and withdrawals. Warp speed is up as well. And of course, many other parts of the ecosystem is operating at 100% uptime there. So that's pretty nice. Jumping over to the Explorer, you can obviously check your balances on Explorer and blockchains and things like that. But let's get into the price prediction. Here we go. Price prediction for the OP. And of course, Optimism here since the 1st of June. You can see looks very much like a cup and handle here with a little breakout going on at the moment. So beautiful stuff here. Broke $2 and of course got up to $2, $1.84 here on the 30th of July. And of course, amazing results really if you think about 2 months. And then of course away it's gone and it's up at $2.80. I can see this recently getting up to $2.75. But you've got to look at the market cap at the moment, 459 million. The current climate of Bitcoin, obviously at 23,000. That's pretty positive. And I can see this really doing easily getting up into the low billions with the chain without too many issues. So that's probably the key bit there. Rank number 103 on CoinGecko. And of course, the 7-day low there, $1.80. $1.08 and $2.12. So real massive variation there. You can see it's just been ramping up pretty much since the 16th of July. So about a month and a half after it launched. with the airdrop there and token, OP token, and away it goes. So I can see that getting to $2.75 is kind of my price prediction there. The other thing, of course, I could see this actually doubling in value. So we're currently at $2.13. I could see a bit further out getting up to over $4. That would get us, up to probably even $5, up to $1 billion market cap. I could see that happening for sure. Once again, not investment advice. Do your own due diligence on this. The other thing, of course, if we're looking at OP versus Bitcoin, OP is at quadruple 9135. So 9135 at the moment versus Bitcoin. And it's looking really strong, really strong. Now, I do think that we've got a bit of an opportunity at the moment between August and say mid-late September for a nice little a breather and a rally. And this is what I still think is a Bitcoin bear market. And of course, that would probably end as we get closer to the next Federal Reserve interest rate call in late September, 22nd, 23rd September. So I think we've got a bit of an opportunity here and a bit of a chance for this price to really breathe and show its chops, as it were. So definitely a rally's on at the moment. We've had a couple of pullbacks here, but this cup and handle kind of formation, it looks pretty good. And I could see, like I say, on the chart here, $2.75 being a reasonable price to chase down, potentially even doubling in market cap and trying to chase that billion there as well. Maybe it might get to 850, 800 mil as well. So definitely check out this. We'll probably have a few pullbacks on the way. I don't expect it just to go up, up, and up. As you can see here, you might have thought that was going up, up, and up, but it pulled back, up, up, and up, and up. And of course, we may get a pullback shortly here, but then it might be short-lived up to $2.75. So very exciting there. Now, how's this bode for Pulse chains coming? Now, Pulse chain is going to be the biggest chain coming out. It is going to be the first full system state copy of Ethereum. It's going to be the biggest crypto airdrop in Ethereum. Now, over 500,000 tokens getting airdropped to everybody on the Ethereum chain. 300 million wallets, going to be massive. Potentially the biggest yield farming as a special tool, AMM tool. It's going to be harvesting all the DEX's liquidity pretty much everywhere. And of course, Uniswap, SushiSwap, things like that. And of course, forming a massive liquidity pool with the dual token system, a Pulse X, and of course, incentive token there for yield farmers, and going to be massive. And the other thing, of course, is we're going to have the fastest way to mass adoption. All these other chains like Optimism having to build out the ecosystem, but Pulse Chain is going to have a massive gate, official bridge open up, and everybody's going to coming for the incentive token for yield farming, for the PLS and PLS X tokens, which are very scarce. Pulse PLS for the Pulse Chain native token, just like ETH is on Ethereum. And of course, PLSX, the native token for Pulse X, DEX, of course, which could be very much the first super DEX, challenge the value of the main chain, also of the biggest DEXs and biggest centralized exchange volumes as well. The other thing, of course, is that's the fastest way to mass adoption, and that is the secret. It's going to be absolutely amazing. People are going to come over for the airdrops, and of course, everything's going to get priced up from zero. But the AMM bot's going to help with that, with the first trade. So it's going to be pretty powerful stuff. Pulse chains. So if this is how much amazing Optimism can do, getting a price on, roll on, imagine what a Pulse chain will we do. So definitely check out Pulse chain wherever you can get information. Pulsechain.com is a good place to start. Yeah, we got plenty of videos on this channel as well. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and of course we'll be becoming more blockchains on this channel as well in the lead up to Pulse chain, which is going to be the ultimate. It is going to be the crowning jewel, the one blockchain to rule them all, and wait for that to come out. Early days. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and once again, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.